Now that San Antonio police have two suspects in custody in the Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra case, I think we're about to find out why law enforcement described the crime scene as very, very perplexing. Hey everyone, it's Lucky with Unfiltered Lucky. And today I want to talk a little bit about the Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra case. Now, if you haven't dove into this case yet, I suggest that you do. I think it's about to get very interesting. Now, on Wednesday, January 3rd, San Antonio law enforcement arrested two suspects in connection with these crimes. Now, they were a father and son. The father, Ramon Preciado, is 53 years old from San Antonio, Texas. The son is Christopher Preciado, and he's 19 from San Antonio, Texas as well. Ramon and Christopher were arrested at their home without incident. Now, Ramon is the individual who was seen in the security cam footage getting out of the black pickup truck with the towel. Now, Christopher is the one driving Matthew's car in this security video. Now, when Ramon and Christopher were arrested, their home is only just a few minutes away from where Matthew's car was dumped with Matthew and Savanah's bodies inside. Now, law enforcement believes that these crimes took place at the Preciado home. So they also believe that these crimes took place within a period of approximately 9 minutes. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first, I want to talk about the arrest of Ramon and Christopher. So they made it pretty easy for law enforcement to catch up with them. I mean, they're on surveillance video, and this surveillance video was being shown all over the country. So they were aware that law enforcement was coming, and Ramon Preciado let law enforcement know that he knew why they were at his home. Now, one of the questions I have about this whole thing is not only did they arrest Ramon and Christopher, but they also found the weapon that was used in their home. So it seems kind of strange that they wouldn't try to cover their tracks. These crimes happened, almost 2 weeks ago. So they've had all of this time to dispose of the weapon and possibly clean things up, but they didn't do that. So to me, it doesn't seem as though they were very concerned about getting caught. Now, I mean, they're being shown on surveillance video. Ramon is in his personal truck, which was parked in front of the house when he was arrested. It wasn't hidden. It wasn't in the garage. It was parked in the driveway. Now, they didn't seem to be real concerned about getting caught. They didn't hide the vehicles. They didn't hide the weapon. So it seems kind of strange that it would just be so simple. Now, law enforcement confirmed, as we believed in the very beginning, that this was a narcotics transaction. Now, it's been talked about that Matthew was possibly selling Christopher narcotics. Now, is it possible that Matthew was actually picking up narcotics from the Preciado home. Now, a few days prior on social networks, Matthew had stated on his social networks that he was re-upping his supply. And that was just a few days prior. So is it possible that Matthew Guerra went to the Preciado home to re-up his supply? Now, I think there's a lot more that goes into this story. I don't believe that Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto's lives were taken over a quarter sack. I don't believe that. I believe that there's something more to this. I believe that there's a lot more to this. Now, Christopher makes a statement after his arrest, and we're going to talk more about that in another video because I'm going to cover the affidavit. I want to read through that together and kind of talk about that a little bit. But Christopher's statement is basically kind of all over the place, which is what you would expect. Now, I definitely don't believe that he's being truthful, and I feel as though he's protecting someone, maybe his dad, but I feel as though he's either protecting someone or multiple people, or he could definitely be protecting himself, not implicating anybody and putting his own life in danger. Because there's kind of the narrative that, Christopher committed this crime and then his dad, Ramon, comes to help him and help him with the victims after Christopher's already committed this crime. So kind of the idea that, Ramon is just a caring father that is trying to help his son. And, I would question that. I would question about how Ramon was involved in these crimes. Is he just the caring dad that's trying to help his son? Or was he involved with these crimes from the very beginning? Or is he the reason why these crimes even occurred? We don't know that. But law enforcement believes that these crimes happened within a time period of 9 minutes. So that's a really short amount of time. But I do believe that the crimes could have been committed in that amount of time. I mean, it's possible that the suspect took Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra's life in the car within 4 minutes. Now, it's reported that Matthew Guerra had drag marks on his back, so it looked like his body had been dragged and put into the back seat. So it's very possible that Matthew's life was taken outside of the car, and maybe he was dragged and put in the car, and then Savanah's life was possibly taken in the passenger seat of the car. So once Matthew was moved to the back seat of the car, and Savanah was already in the passenger seat, it would have been a very short drive to where Christopher and Ramon decided to dump the car. It's only approximately a 3 to 4 minute drive from their house to where they dumped the car, as well as Matthew and Savanah's bodies. So it's possible that it could have happened within 9 minutes. It would have had to be very, very fast, but I do believe that it's possible. Now, the one thing about that timeline is that I do believe for these crimes to have happened and the car to have been dumped, 'd, within 9 minutes, that, 'd, 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 this would have had to have been a planned attack. This would have had to be planned. I don't believe 9 minutes would allow enough time for them to have an altercation and, get Ramon involved and, then take their lives and then dump the car. I don't believe that 9 minutes would be enough time to do all of that. So I believe that if these crimes happened within 9 minutes, then I believe they would have had to have been planned. That there would have been a plan in place before Matthew and Savanah got to the Preciado house. So I do believe that more arrests will be made. I believe there's more people involved in these crimes. And I believe that investigators in this case are on top of things. I think they're going to get to the bottom of this. And I do believe there's more people involved than just Ramon and Christopher. And I do believe that that will come to light and that there will be more arrests. Because I think this is I think that this crime occurred over something much bigger than just, a small amount of narcotics. So as this investigation unfolds, I think that we're going to see more arrests, and I think that we're going to get a clearer picture about the actual reason that Matthew and Savanah's lives were taken. So I'm going to stay on top of this, and as I said, I'm going to do another video about the Savanah Soto Matthew Guerra case, and we're going to talk about the affidavit. And I'm going to read through the affidavit, and we're going to do that together. So I can kind of share my thoughts about some of the details that are in the affidavit. There's a lot of information in there, so I definitely want to, read through that with all of you, and we'll talk about it. Now, please stay tuned for my next video, and please and if you like my content, please subscribe to my page. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you next time.